Let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? It's 2015. Your boy, the Slickster, has purchased 3 investment properties within a month. That's correct. And he has just received his bachelor's degree from Campbell University. He's become overqualified for his current job he's in, and he's underpaid due to the amount of experience, the amount of certifications he has accrued in the networking technology sector, and his scholastic education. But hey, there's a bright side to all this. It's that time of the year for pay raises. Slickster's boss hands him his pay raise, and that's when all hell breaks loose. I think this would be an appropriate time to stop talking in the third person, right? So I get this pay raise, and it was absolute shit. I remember being slightly pissed off because I knew my credentials made the company look good, as it was a government contracting type of company. And compared to some of my other peers that I was working with, or my coworkers, I knew I was the only one who was willing to invest more time into my expertise within the technology sector, which would benefit the company greatly during a contract rebid. So guess what I did? I bet you would like to know what I told my boss. Well, I'll tell you. I went right into his office. I looked him right in the face, and I said, "What is this shit? You cheap motherfucker. Do you know what I'm worth? Do you have any idea how hard I've worked for all this shit, you dumb fuck?" He gave me this dumb look, and I was just like, you know what? Save your bullshit. Why don't you take this and shove it up your ass, you paper-pushing, suit-looking fuck? As I threw, the little merit raise paper in his face. Badass. That's a true story. In the land of leprechauns and flying wizards. Okay, so none of that really happened. I actually didn't say anything while I was at work. I just kind of laughed it off. I really just went home, vented for like an hour with my then wife at the time, and I ravished her lady parts to relieve my frustrations of working under the thumb of a corporation. I mean, it's exactly what any happily married man would do, right, fellas? Back me up on that one? Thanks. So since I was not happy with how I was compensated, I looked for another job where I knew I could be compensated for what I was worth. I was not angry with my employer or the company I was with. I just knew it was time for me to move on. So I did. So I quit my job because I found another job that paid way more money, and doing pretty much exactly what I studied so long for and what I thought I wanted to do. The job was in a different city than I was living in, called Fayetteville, North Carolina, on Fort Bragg, an Army base. I basically found this pretty technical job as a VoIP engineer and networking analyst. So things were looking good on the professional and money-making side of my life, but the personal side of my life took a massive fucking nosedive. My marriage of 9.5 years went to absolute shit. My marriage had already hit the rocks a bunch of times before this, and it had pretty much run its course. Not gonna get into details, just know it was one of the hardest times in my life. I had been married through my 3 deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan. She supported me through the rough times, and I supported her through her rough times. But the fighting and the components of what makes a healthy relationship simply deteriorated over time. So I eventually got divorced, and I was alone working in a new job in a new city while being a new real estate investor. It was during these times that I really started getting into fitness and living my life as a single dude. It was a pretty crazy time, to say the least. Even after the divorce was completed and adjusting to being on my own, I started realizing that I was becoming more and more depressed. I didn't understand my depression because I accomplished everything I wanted from a professional standpoint. I mean, I worked my ass off relentlessly for years and felt like I had crossed the finish line to the wrong race, if that makes any sense at all. I had no idea how to deal with this, so I self-medicated with exercise, as it became an addiction. Training to this day, I feel, is still an addiction for me, but nowhere near the level of addiction between the years of 2015 and 2017 for me. Lifting and nutrition became like this dark tunnel of some awkward type of self-punishment. To add more fuel to this, the self-sabotaging life I was living, I started to question my purpose in the job I was working. I just felt like completely burnt out, and I legitimately felt like I was letting my life just slip away for a paycheck, or what I thought I was supposed to be doing. I started dreading going into work so much so that I soon realized I actually was wasting my time at a job I really didn't want to do. And don't get me wrong, the job was a great job. I worked with great people, I made some great friends, and my boss and upper management personnel were stellar people. I got along with everyone. It involved the type of technology systems I love to work on. To this day, I still like this technology, but I simply felt dedicating 10 hours a day to a job simply was not worth my time. I say 10 hours a day because of the driving, dealing with traffic, and getting ready for work. You know, all that stuff I spent specifically just for this job, like we all do. I was already making enough money from my investments, and I knew that working a job was not going to be something that would make me happy. So in August of 2017, I submitted my 2 weeks notice, and let me tell you, I had about 12 days of vacation upon putting in my 2 weeks notice, and I took those 12 days off rather than just cash them out. That's how bad I didn't want to be at work. I simply felt like I just couldn't breathe anymore. So if you're asking yourself, why did I have to give all this background information just to tell everyone why I quit my job? Well, it's because I feel those certain trials in my life are what gave me the clarity to realize what I wanted to do in my life. I was tired of not paying myself and not valuing my time for what it's really worth. I realized that my time is worth so much more than I thought it was. Nonetheless, I'm glad I went through all those tribulations, and I'm sure there will be more in the future. And I'm ready to face them whenever they come, or as ready as I think I ever will be, at least. As a quick disclaimer, these are just my opinions. I have nothing against anyone who works hard and chases their dreams of working a certain job or attaining a certain amount of financial incentives from working a certain job. I just realized that lifestyle itself wasn't for me, hence why I'm an investor. I think this is the part of the video where I'm supposed to tell you not to quit your job because you're going to go broke. But I'm not going to tell you that. I say you do whatever the hell you want. I just hope you have enough financial intelligence and aptitude to make the right decision. I know I did. I also wanted to say that it was about a year after I quit my job that I went vegan, because I really started to look at the truths of life in general. I felt like I had this better introspective of life. Not working a job makes me feel like I'm unchained and I have a clear mind towards living and what I really want to do, hence one of the reasons you see me here in front of this screen. So I hope this gives you some introspective into life and what you're doing. Please know I wish nothing but the best for all of you, even the ones who disagree with me or dislike me. Please know that I appreciate every single one of you. You guys know who I am. I'm the Natural Hulkster. I want to thank you all for watching, and please stay tuned for the next one.